Welcome everyone to today's Hume Talk Online. My name is Etche and together with Hiba, we're going to be talking to former pupil Lara Farrell.
Hi everyone, Lara was here at Hulme Grammar until 1999 and is now Global Head of Talent Acquisition Programs at Hilti, providers of leading edge technology solutions to the global construction industry. Lara, welcome and thanks so much for joining us in the meeting.
Thank you so much, it's really good to be here.
So take us back a little to when you were at Hulme. What was school like in the 90s? What were your favourite subjects and what did you dream of doing?
Okay, so school in the 90s still pretty strict. So we had quite strict regulations around things like we still had the Iron Curtain in place. So not a lot of crossover with the boys' school. We had like staggered break time so that we weren't on the drive together too much. And we had, to get our skirt lengths measured and our heel heights measured. So yeah, obviously no technology really then. Mobile phones were kind of just coming in as I left school. So still probably quite old school really, but lots and lots of fun. Favorite subject for me was English always. I liked history and French a lot as well. And in terms of what I dreamed of doing, I don't think I really know. For quite a long time I wanted to be a teacher, and then I thought I might do law, and then I wasn't quite sure after that. So I'm not sure I really had a destination in mind while I was at school, to be honest.
What were your first steps after leaving Hulme and where did you go next after what you did?
So I went to university, went to St Hilda's College at Oxford to do English. So English had always been my favourite. So I decided I would go and do that as my degree and then I would kind of think about it later. So I went off and did that for 3 years and then graduated still not knowing really what I wanted to do and not really sure what an English degree was good for, and ended up joining a graduate scheme in a sales and marketing organisation. So I kind of thought marketing might work. And actually then I ended up doing a rotation in human resources and enjoyed that. And then that's been the rest of my career. So nothing at all what I'd planned for or what I was kind of working towards while I was at school or university.
I'm sure there's no typical day, but can you tell us what a day in the life of a global head of talent acquisition program looks like, or what things you do on your to-do list this week?
Yes. So yeah, you're right. Not really a typical week. So my job is basically to help us hire better. So Hilti's got 35,000 employees today. We need to hire an extra 55,000 people by 2030. So a lot of work to do in the hiring space. And my job is about making sure that we're properly set up for doing that so that all of our people and our processes and our technology are aligned to help us do that. So this week, we're going to make a massive multi-million-pound investment in a new technology platform. So I'm having lots of meetings about that internally and externally. I'm having some meetings about how we develop the skills of our leadership team to enable us to meet this massive goal and take their teams through that change. I'm having kick-off meetings with all of our different teams around the globe for what we plan to do this year and how we're going to work towards those targets for 2025. And then lots of other kind of meetings in between around process improvement and how we measure our process. So yeah, a lot of it is just about helping other people to achieve this big target as best as they can.
Now that you're sitting here having achieved all that you have so far, if your younger self was watching this webinar back in school, what would you say to yourself?
Gosh, probably that it's actually okay not to know what comes next. I think I used to worry a lot about that, and it felt like things had to be very linear and there had to be a really clearly defined path. And actually what I found through my career, and particularly as my career has been in human resources and a lot in hiring other people, is that things just develop as time goes on and opportunities come up that you might not have thought about. And it's just good to be open-minded to those opportunities. I think that's probably been the biggest learning for me, that doing the thing that you might not have thought of, and for me particularly doing the thing that feels difficult, has often been the thing that has been the most rewarding and given the biggest steps in my career. So I think I would probably say, yeah, don't worry too much about the prescribed path. Just keep your eyes open and take opportunities as they come up.
I know you've been to school a couple times since leaving. What were your impressions coming back to school, and was there anything that sparked memories of your time here as a pupil?
Definitely. So obviously the setup of school is quite different now. You come in through what would have been the boys' school to me, so that felt quite strange. But when I came into what I would say is the girls' school, it sparked so many memories. I mean, the rooms are used for different things, but the building looks the same. I guess it's a 100-year-old building. It looks the same. It smells the same. So instantly I felt kind of transported back to when I was there. And some of the rooms really are the same setup. So some of the science labs are exactly the same as they were. I went in the music room in what we would have called the extension. That was exactly the same. So yeah, it's changed a lot, and I could see a lot about what's different, and some of the philosophy of the school is different than it was then. But actually, lots of it was the same, and I was taking pictures and sending them to my sisters and friends, and people were really shocked by like how much of it is the same. So even though the rooms are used for different things, they look like they did back then.
I know you've also been volunteering as a mentor to the sixth form pupils here at Hume, and I wondered if there are any common themes in terms of advice or guidance that you've been giving to your mentees.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of mentoring with young people, actually, both through Hume and in different organisations, and I've hired a lot of graduates over the years. And I think the big thing, similar to what I was saying about what I would tell myself, some of it is be quite open-minded about opportunities, and just look for chances to demonstrate what you can do. I think it's difficult when you're at school because you've got very specific things that you have to do, and it's hard to kind of translate that experience for the working world. But actually, if you think about the skills that you're developing, those are the things that are important. So can you work well as part of a group? Can you take initiative when you need to? Can you show that you can prioritize things? Can you show that you can learn things really well? So what I'm always saying to people is, again, don't worry too much about the specifics of the path you might go down, but think about what the skills that might help you to get there. The other thing is, I mean, as I said earlier, I never would have imagined that the job that I do today existed when I was at school. It wasn't remotely on my radar. But for people of your age, people who are in the sixth form now, the jobs that you'll do in the future literally probably don't exist. Like, the world of work is changing really quickly, and it's probably quite hard to anticipate what those jobs might be. So again, it's not necessarily about working towards a specific career. It's thinking about skills and thinking about what are the things that you enjoy and what can you use from that to demonstrate your skills, whether that's to universities, employers, anybody. So yeah, a few common themes. Obviously, differences for people who are doing different subjects, but I'd say that's where the commonality is.
Okay, so in our last few minutes of the webinar, we're going to go into some quick fire questions that pupils have submitted. Are you ready for them? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced as a student, and how did you overcome them?
Oh, good one. So for me, I had a real lack of confidence. That was a big one for me. I was never kind of academically unconfident, but I was small, had a little voice, and it took a while for me to kind of find my place at school, I think. I think just doing a lot of different things within school, like extracurricular stuff, getting to know people, kind of really helped. And I've kind of really felt that through my career as well.
What skills or qualities do you believe are most important for students looking to thrive in today's global job market?
So I think some of the ones I've already mentioned, definitely just being flexible, being willing to learn, being willing to stick at something for maybe a bit longer than you feel you need to. Just being, as I said, just being really open-minded, I think. Take on a challenge if someone puts an opportunity in front of you.
When you were at school, is there anything you did outside of school, like music or sports or groups, you think helped you during your studies?
Good one. So in the earlier years of school, I did netball and junior choir. I was not sporty or musical at all. And then as time went on, I did a few extra things. So I did Duke of Edinburgh at bronze, silver and gold, which was really useful. Definitely helped in that developing confidence thing. I did Young Enterprise. I was one of the writers and directors of the pantomimes in the sixth form. I did community action, which was like volunteering out in the community. I helped organise the sixth form Christmas party. So as time went on, I did kind of more and more in the sixth form, and that was a really good way. And some of that was joint with the boys' school, which meant that we got to like meet some new people as well. So that was always good.
Thinking of what you look for in recruitment and spotting talent, what would you say are the key things you look for in people?
So it's different every time, but I guess there is some core things that are always similar. So most organisations have values or a mission or a purpose, and you're always looking for people who are aligned with that. So can people demonstrate that they would be a good fit in your organisation? The biggest one, I think, at all levels is people who have shown that they are able to learn things. So whether that's being able to do a lot of different things and you know, kind of having the courage to take on different things, but also people who can say, I did that thing and it didn't work, but this is the thing I learned from it, and this is what I've done differently since then. So what we would call kind of learning agility, I think it has been critical for any job that I've ever hired for or any job I have ever had.
Do you get to travel as a part of your job? And if so, what are your favourite places you've visited?
So I do get to travel. My job is global, and Hilti's in 120 countries, so I do get to travel a fair bit. Our headquarters are in Liechtenstein, so a tiny little piece of land between Switzerland and Austria, so I get to go there quite a bit. Favourite places I've been, Hong Kong was very cool because I hadn't been there before. I used to get to go to Malaysia quite a bit, which was good. And I got to go to Moscow in that kind of brief period of time where you could travel to Russia and it was fine. And that's probably not somewhere I would have been otherwise, and probably not somewhere that I'll have an opportunity to go again. So I really enjoyed that.
How different are your impressions of the workplace now that you're in it, like versus what you imagine work to be like when you were a pupil here?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working for more than 20 years now, so it has changed a lot as well since I was younger. So I guess my impression of it was very like, you know, businessy and people going in suits and like being in meetings all day. And when I started working, that was the case. Like I used to wear a suit to work every day when I was like 21. And obviously that's really different now. But again, I think I just hadn't understood how many more jobs there were and how long a career is. So I think I thought I would decide on something I wanted to do, and then I would do that thing forever. And it would be a thing that I had heard of, you know, kind of like the sort of job people had on TV or in books. And I think what is evident to me is there are so many jobs. Even now I kind of come across jobs and I can't really work out what that job is. You know, it's outside of my experience. So I think it's just a lot more, there's just much more out there than I thought, and career paths are much more squiggly and people as time goes on. And the world of work has changed a lot. You know, I work from home now pretty much all of the time. If someone wore a suit to an office, I would find that probably quite unusual these days outside of certain industries. So it's probably also a lot more relaxed than I expected, and more fun than I thought it would be. It's not as serious as I expected.
Well, we're running out of time, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you on behalf of all the pupils here at Hulme Grammar for taking the time to talk to us today. It was a brilliant insight into your world, and you gave some excellent advice to us all.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. I'm really.
Thank you to everyone for watching today, and we'll see you at another Hulme Talk very soon. Bye.